wow. It's another House of Decline, and this time we're in a bit of a pickle. We've been taken by the SS, which stands for the silly servicemen, and they've taken us to the woke concentration camp.
Yeah. Welcome to House of Decline, everyone, from the depths of a woke concentration camp.
Yeah.
This is Steven, and of course, as always, we have Alex with us.
Yeah. And, you know, we need some money to get out of this woke concentration camp. So it's what you're going to want to do is go to patreon.com/ they allow it, because they're very woke, they allow us internet access. You know, they're not monsters.
Yeah, any
I want
kind
to make
of like
it clear.
gig economy type of thing is still very cool at the woke concentration
Yeah, you can do
camp.
gig economy, you can look up hentai, but you cannot do crypto. You can look up as much hentai as you want. They encourage it. They see it as a palliative, not a palliative. They see it as a methadone-like hentai palliative care. Someone's dying and they just give them a bunch of hentai.
Yeah, palliative I think is correct. Palate cleanser, not correct.
Not correct. You can't be eating a piece of meat and then view a piece of hentai and you're then like, I'm ready for dessert. No, you need some orange sherbet in between.
Imagine a guy who has to eat the page of manga after he jacks off to it.
That's his rule.
He
has to eat it all the time.
He has to eat everything he jacks off to.
Like, he couldn't jack off to it online. He'd have to print a picture, and then he'd have to eat it afterwards.
Yeah.
Eating paper is very bad.
Is it?
It's probably not. But I imagine you have rigid shits. Have some pretty rigid-ass shits.
Did you ever eat odd things growing up in elementary school?
Yeah, when I was a child, I ate a lot of paper, actually. I can't remember the quality of my shits, though.
Yeah, I'm having trouble remembering the quality of my shits as a youth. I didn't eat too much, like, weird things. I knew kids who ate paper, and I thought it was pretty cool.
Why did you think it was cool?
Well, they had, like, a source of delicious food at all times.
That's true. It's like you're never wanting for paper. Nobody has ever wanted for paper.
They were a freak. It was like, I don't have the ability to enjoy it at their level.
That was my attitude. Like people. It's like people that enjoy cilantro. You know, the non-cilantro people are looking at them with angry eyes.
Yeah, I remember. I heard about that. I heard about that sort of around the same time as I was doing my observations on the paper eaters about the people who thought cilantro tastes like soap. And I was heartbroken to hear that. I was like, that puts so many potential mates for me just out of the pool, you know? I could never procreate with someone who has the cilantro as soap gene. I eat too much of the dang stuff.
You love cilantro. You're all about cilantro.
Yeah. I get cilantro flavored toothpaste.
It's amazing. Yeah, that's why they took you to the woke concentration camp, because your outward love of cilantro was ableist.
Yeah, they picked me up outside of the supermarket. They grabbed
the woke
me. The woke
moralists pick you up.
The woke moralists grabbed me and bagged me. As it were. They put a rainbow-colored zip tie around my hands. To add insult to injury.
It wasn't a big van, but it was a VW Bug, the wokest of all cars.
It was something electric, you know.
Yeah, it's funny that the Nazis made something that cute, you know.
Yeah,
it's like well, you know, we have our destruction, but here's a little cute buggy that women will like. You know, women will want to, you know, Barbie-like women will want to drive in these things. Self-possessed business girls, you know, with long blonde hair, with tiny little dogs, you know, they'll want to drive in our Nazi bugs.
The original logo of it was skull and bones before it was like the W. So it made it a little more intimidating.
Yeah, absolutely. Could you imagine a Nazi VW Bug with a skull and bones just barreling down at you? Well, this was the model for the woke concentration camp, but instead of a skull and bones, they had a portrait of Steven Universe smiling.
Yeah.
And instead of bones, he had gems. He had his crystal arms. He was our beautiful boy.
I'm just looking on Twitter. Apparently, it's National Ice Cream Day, according to Chuck Grassley.
Man, That's great. I mean, stop Brandon. Brandon is going crazy for ice cream now. That's his thing.
I wish we could get some ice cream in this woke concentration camp, but they only give us like frozen yogurt.
Yeah, they only allow Tasty Delight at the concentration camp. They say that ice cream is decadent. They say that ice cream is for decadent bourgeoisie.
Yeah, the only toppings are bugs.
Yeah, bugs. They're making us eat the bugs
as toppings.
Yeah, it's frozen yogurt with bug top. I mean, don't knock it. Look, here's the thing: the bugs aren't bad. Tried the bugs, crunchy, meaty. Got a good texture. The bugs aren't bad. I think Snowpiercer did a disservice. They showed the bugs all getting ground up. They showed cockroaches. And no one wants to eat a cockroach, but the bugs here, we got crickets, man. Crickets are like, you could eat a cricket, man. They seem clean. They seem, cool.
I only would eat butterflies.
You would only eat butterflies? Why? Because they're the wokest. You're angered against the woke insects?
Anything to strike back against the woke man.
Yeah. Because butterflies are they're like the gay insect.
If we're fighting against the woke establishment, should we really say the man anymore? Like fighting the man?
Should we say the them? We're fighting the them?
It's a little.
I guess that goes back to the Jews, the triple brackets again. Maybe not. So through. It would be funny someone referring to Ezra Miller as them, but not as a non-binary person, but as like an evil Jewish conspiracist.
I mean, listen, you and I are stuck in this emotional labor camp.
Yeah.
And we're mining for neoproteins.
Yeah, to stimulate people's emotions. See, everyone's emotions have been deadened by the internet.
We're tasked with coming up with 17 new neo-pronouns by the end of the week. Did you make any progress on that? I can't make any new neo-pronouns because, well, here's the thing. I was thinking like maybe like a schle.
Here's the thing about that is we need to mine the neoproteins to make the neo-emotions to get the neo-pronouns.
Oh, okay.
That's why, every day I'm taking these new proteins and coming up with different emotions to describe these feelings that I'm having.
So another inmate wanted to know if you wanted to switch with him. He's doing the Soy Mines.
He's doing the Soy Mines. He's mining for soy. Yeah. just like a big pudgy blocks of soy you're mining at.
All these things you have to mine for.
Yeah. And the problem with the soy mines is you inhale the phytoestrogens and your titties swiftly become too big to work in the mines. You're growing and then you're on milk duty.
Yeah.
Because cow milk is bad, but we can make human milk. They're milking us all the time.
What do they turn the human milk into?
They turn the human milk into oat milk.
Bastards.
Those bastards. They found a way to turn animal matter into plant matter. If this is a neo-emotion I'm feeling. If there was only a neo-emotion to express how I could express
See,
this
I'm
right
over
now.
here thinking the way you make oat milk is you take some organic oats and mix it with water from snowflakes, from melted snowflakes.
Right.
The most purest water.
The purest water is from snowflakes,
from
of course.
Melted snowflakes.
Yeah, they tried to insult us with that, but we're taking it back. That's what they thought in their mind. We're going to build a whole system powered off of snowflakes. Nuclear snowflake generators. We catch them in our snowflake nets.
What do you think about this impending energy crisis?
It doesn't matter because we have snowflake power. I mean, it's tough in the summer.
They also make us ride those. They make us ride those exercise bikes where instead of the seat, there's a dildo.
Right. Yeah. And it's powered by that. It's powered by how much pain is in our asshole. Actually, like if we're feeling more pain, like the light bulb shine bright. So that's what we do in the summer.
Yeah.
We're just constantly bobbing up and down, And the thing is, you eventually get used to it, so they have to keep replacing it with bigger and bigger dildos, in order to ensure that... Because here's the thing about... they were inspired by Monsters, Inc., and, they tried fear power. They tried laughter power. And the thing that generated the most energy was anal pain.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's
turns out.
Another kind
They're not going to do... They won't tell you that in Pixar.
A kind of cool thing about being here is there's a lot of famous guys.
Yeah, a lot of famous guys.
Like...
taken to the woke camps.
Yeah. I think, Dave Chappelle is in here.
Dave Chappelle is in here for his terrible views. We're all harassing Dave Chappelle here at the woke concentration camp. Even the other anti-woke people are fed up with Dave Chappelle.
Hey,
He's always...
my uncle died in a woke concentration camp.
Your uncle died in a woke concentration camp?
Yeah, he fell down the wheelchair ramp.
Oh, no! That's a classic variation on the fell out of a guard tower joke. I like the idea of a guy just cracking his neck on a wheelchair ramp and then he himself becoming paralyzed.
I mean, I was imagining just like sort of a Austin Powers type scene of a guy rolling down a...
and there's no apparent reason why he would be injured, but he
bonks his head on the rail every time.
I think it'd be funny if they have like the steep... Here at the woke concentration camp, we have extremely steep wheelchair ramps because we believe in handicapped people. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say I should say disabled people. We believe in disabled people. We don't want them to be weak. We want them to be strong. So all wheelchair ramps are at a 60-degree incline.
Yeah, so you're going to have to cut your dick off because you just said the H word.
There you said the H word, yeah.
You're going to have to go ahead and cut your dick off for that.
This is what we're coming to, is the forced gender reassignment surgery.
Yeah.
Is what they're trying to get us to do. I mean, we all knew it was coming. But, here's the thing, though. They've been so nice that I'm looking forward to it.
I'm down with it.
Yeah.
I don't want to be awake for it because they're gonna scrape it and kind of turn it into a vagina.
Yeah.
So,
well, there is the option. You can take the gender reassignment option, or you can take... I think what I'm going to take is the nullo option.
Okay.
Because you can just become a nullo. They will allow you to just become a nullo and live out your life as a nullo.
Like sort of an automatic pee hole flap that kind of comes down like...
Yeah, you get sort of like a cloaca-like entity,
It goes like... Zzz, and then a titanium straw comes out and the pee leaks out.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to nullo life. Lots of stuff I don't have to worry about anymore. Won't have to worry about jack it off anymore. That's like 10, 20, 7 hours out of my day, just gone.
If my penis got cut off, I would work on trying to jack off just using my mind.
Right. You would use your mind to manipulate your prostate. Only prostate orgasms.
I bet I could do it.
Like become in Japan, they had the concept of a senin, which was a sort of a monk or a samurai that had complete control over their body's functions. Like they could think about something and, they could make their lungs react in a certain way. So are you trying to become a senin, but only for prostate orgasms?
Yeah, but now that I know that it's a thing I could maybe expand to the other bodily functions, I'm pretty interested. I might check a book out from the small little library we have at the woke concentration camp. We do have
it's a woke little library.
It's a little small, nice little library.
They have many books. They have many woke books in it. They got
like
The Giver.
Ibrahim Kendi is in there.
Yeah, Ibrahim Kendi is in there.
Chuck Wendig is in there.
They have the French version of The Giver. They also have the Spanish version of The Giver. They have Hunger Games with all the naughty parts edited out. All the parts of, romantic heterosexual love are edited out of all these books. So, we don't have a lot of canonical books, but we do have a lot of queer fan fictions in the library. There is a lot of Sora and Riku from Kingdom Hearts, fucking. They'll allow us to read that, several hundred of the books are just. And what's amazing too is they went out of the way to publish and cloth bound these Kingdom Hearts gay fan fictions. Is
that really like a woke thing?
Sure. Yeah, that's what King. Haven't you been paying attention?
Is Kingdom Hearts?
Have you been paying attention to anything they've been telling us?
Is Kingdom Hearts the most woke video game because
it's the most woke video game? Yeah.
Because it includes characters from all the video games living together.
Exactly. They're all together, and they're under the most banner of the most woke company of all, Disney.
Yeah. What do you think about the conservatives who are trying to, I think, go after Disney's tax stuff?
But there are conservatives trying to go after Disney's tax stuff?
Yeah,
I didn't know about that.
The governor of Florida is trying to be like, Disney's paying, we don't like Disney paying so many taxes, so.
But they're doing it because they're trying to get at them for being supposed groomers, right?
Yeah, I guess they are doing some kind of grooming with the movies. They're
doing movie grooming.
That's like a conspiracy theory from the 90s, though. It's so weird.
Yeah. I mean, it's also so bizarre to me because Kingdom Hearts is explicitly anti-grooming.
It's like the guy from Fight Club inserting frames of a male penis into Kingdom Hearts.
No, I mean they're just unsheathed male penises everywhere in Kingdom Hearts. It's really that is what the Keyblade is. It is an extension of the stamen-like quality of the what do you call it? Lingam.
The lingam.
The lingam. We're talking about the lingam. Why doesn't anyone talk about the lingam anymore? Used to be the lingam and the yoni.
Why doesn't Hollywood make Fight Club 2?
Yeah, they should make Fight Club 2, where and there shouldn't be any homoerotic subtext. It should just be homoerotic text. And it's just somehow Ed Norton has become a scientist and he's trying to recreate Tyler Durden in a lab so he can make out with him and they can bareback fuck for 2.5 hours while saying cool shit and smoking cigarettes. And it's called Gay Sex Club. It's called Gay Sex Club.
Nice.
And it gets really popular with the teenage bros, and they're like, man, Gay Sex Club is my favorite movie. Watched it so many times. It is such a cool ending where they're bareback fucking and Where Is My Mind starts playing.
Yeah, with your feet in the air and your ass in the air. Try this dick and fuck it. Oh, no, and suck it. Maybe and suck it. Try this dick and suck. Yeah.
Suck dick. Suck dick.
That's the good stuff.
And I'm sucking on your dick, and I'm sucking your dick.
Oh boy. I already.
Man, suck it. Suck it. Yeah.
That's a pretty
Frank Black. Frank Black is also here in the. He's also here in the woke re-education center in the woke concentration camp.
He says things just for attention.
He does, but he was also mean to Kim Deal, and I agree with that one. I'm glad Frank Black is in the woke concentration camp for being mean to Kim Deal.
I mean,
to anti-feminist of him.
I'm glad, but that's because I like Frank Black and I like hanging out with him.
Yeah. He's telling us all sorts of fat guy stories.
I bet he's got a lot of funny fat guy stories.
He's got a lot of fat guys. Frank Black's always saying, like, remember the time I ate a whole bucket of chicken? That's how he talks in real life. He's always talking like his erratically voiced vocalizations from the Pixies.
Yeah, it's hard for me to dislike him that much, even if he was mean to Kim Deal.
Yeah, he wrote very good songs.
I think he is problematic.
Yeah.
But he's, you can't argue with greatness.
No, you can't argue with problematic greatness. That's what I feel about.
That's why we're here.
Exactly. We are problematically great. Like many of our heroes, Michael Jackson, Harvey Weinstein, Dustin Hoffman.
Oh, definitely.
Bill Murray savagely beat his wife. I don't know about savagely beat his wife.
What?
Bill Murray, they also, we're looking it up, Steven's looking it up right now, because they will allow us internet access to look up which male celebrities should be canceled, because they did something bad. But in divorce documents, it was alleged that Bill Murray did some domestic abuse. I don't know about, I said savagely, because they savagely beat us here on a daily basis. And it's getting harder. It's getting harder and harder.
I think he hit her in the face.
That's bad.
I don't think
shouldn't have done that.
That's this website rare.us.
Rare.us.
America's news feed says Bill Murray hit his wife in the face once.
Oh, there you go. So he should be here, but he's got money, so he's been able to avoid the woke Gestapo.
Oh, the woke Gestapo.
The woke
That's
Gestapo.
Better than
the SS, the silly serviceman.
Silly serviceman.
The silly serviceman.
I like the woke Gestapo.
The woke Gestapo better, yeah. This is the woke Gestapo. You are using the incorrect pronouns. Yeah. All these gender Hitlers. These goddamn gender Hitlers coming at us.
They're all transitioning to Adolf.
There you go. There you go. That's been this whole thing this whole time is we're seeing this cruel force trying to take advantage, this hegemonic force. That's right. I'm using the H word, hegemonic, because that's what it is now. It's a big beast, a big woke beast.
I bet Wes Anderson is cancelable. Isn't he?
Yeah.
Didn't they try recently with saying like he's like actually a Nazi?
I mean, he's Isle of Dogs could be easily interpreted as racist.
It's speciesist.
Well, yeah, but he sort of does use Japanese people as a prop in that movie, which it's fine.
Well, Wallace and Gromit use English people as a prop.
Exactly, English people are things to be manipulated.
I guess the creators of Wallace and Gromit probably aren't Japanese, though.
No, yeah, they get to do that. Japanese people can use themselves as props. They do that all the time in New Japan Pro Wrestling. They'll use a guy as a hammer or something like that.
Yeah, they do that. And most Extreme Elimination Challenge, they do that.
Yeah, but if it was a white guy doing it, that would be bad.
I like Japanese TV because it's like, this man is a hot dog now, and then someone, when it's like the game is eat the hot dog, but it's a man dressed as a hot dog.
I like Japanese TV because there's a lot of text flashing on screen at any one time, and I think there should be more text flashing on screen.
I always wondered what that was, but it turns out that's just encouragements to the viewer. It's just saying things like, "You're smart and handsome."
I think we need more of that. We see how depressed people are.
I mean, something on the screen flashing in pink that just says, "You can understand this."
Yeah.
Really helps. I've been watching Sesame Street from the 70s because part of the re-education at the woke concentration camp is you have to watch all of the Sesame Streets in order starting from 1970.
All the Sesame Streets, yes. To learn about sharing and numbers and, living in a slum populated by puppets, living in low-income housing populated by puppets. The Robert Moses designed Sesame Street. Robert Moses designed the interstate system specifically to keep Muppets from going to public parks.
We could make an edit of Sesame Street executive produced by Robert Moses, and they would just take an episode of Sesame Street and play highway noises instead of dialogue, so you can't hear anything because there's like a highway right over you.
There you go. See, these are woke jokes. It's woke to hate Robert. See, now their lessons are getting into our head. The re-education is working.
Re-education does work. Like, the way
Absolutely.
you fix people who, say, have been brainwashed by a cult, like the fundamentalist Latter-day Saints, is you have to re-educate them, because they have been... you have to... I mean, there's ways of doing it that are varyingly humane. I think the most commonly known way is like the blank slate approach that the Marines take, where they like strip your personality away by force.
Yeah, that worked out in Full Metal Jacket.
Oh, that's fantasy. That's a fantasy movie.
that would never happen.
That didn't happen.
That didn't happen. There was no fat guy. There was no bullied fat guy.
There was no fat guy that killed himself in the army ever.
No, that's never happened.
That never happened. The army has never had a suicide.
No. Being a soldier is great. You know, that's what Full Metal Jacket is all about. It's all about the camaraderie. You get to see the camaraderie.
And the music.
Yeah, absolutely. Surfing Bird,
great music.
Amazing. That's what every Vietnam movie really is about. It's about how much better the music of the 60s was.
That's funny. Well, I'm glad that's no longer the, like, harsh ideology of culture, is that the music of the 60s is the best.
I just now have this image of, like, modern warfare, like, doing covert missions in, like, Yemen, and they're blasting Olivia Rodrigo. they're like, blasting this charmless...
They're probably blasting Taylor Swift.
Hate is gonna hate. My baby.
Yeah, the Zoomer Navy SEALs are gonna be so hilarious and terrifying.
I'm the bad guy. Yeah, Billie Eilish, going through. I wonder what the next war is going to be. When Trump gets back into office and starts another war, because that'd be funny.
I mean, I think Iran has it coming.
That would be a world ender.
No, it wouldn't, because they don't have nukes yet.
They don't have nukes, but they're working on it.
Yeah, we can only really attack the countries that don't have nukes yet.
There you go. It's fun to bully. That's what bullying's all about, That's why I think that every bullied child should get a nuke.
Yeah, Trillbillies have been saying this for a while, is that if we really want union power, we need to start giving nukes to unions. Which I think is great. That would be fun. I'm down with that, except for, of course, the police unions.
We don't like those guys. They're the bad union. They're like,
yeah.
What if there were other bad unions?
I think there are.
The murderers union.
No, I think there are. Sometimes nurses unions can be bad.
Whoa. Nurses, that's very unwoke of you, Stephen. Don't let the guards hear you talking smack about nurses.
The men nurses.
Oh, I see. The men nurses, right? Good. Yeah, because they're stealing women's professions anyway.
Sorry.
They're stealing jobs from our beautiful, beautiful women.
Maybe I misspoke. Maybe I didn't mean the nurses. I meant the teachers. The teachers.
You're right. The teachers.
Those
the teachers unions.
Sometimes.
Those are bad. What do you mean? Because they have rubber rooms for bad teachers or whatever?
Is that where you go and the principal beats the teacher for misbehaving?
I wish that'd be fun. That's what they have here. They have that. Except they hit us with the wokest object of all, which is something that I am coming up with in my brain right now. They hit us with a rolled up copy of the Constitution, which is the wokest document in history.
They hit us with the smartest animal that's not human, an octopus.
There you go. Right in the face, yeah, exactly. The octopus is the wokest animal because it is the smartest. We all know this.
Octopuses are not the smartest. They are just the most economically advantaged of the animals.
Oh, you're saying they're privileged?
Yeah.
They have octopus privilege?
They have 8 arms. You know how much more food you can grab with that?
That's true. That's true. Suckers, I mean, they're competing against fish, too. Fish ain't got no arms. They can't grab shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Imagine a guy with 8 arms, okay?
He would be grabbing so much food.
He would grab all the money.
Yeah, you couldn't stop him. That would be his privilege. Yeah, we gotta, these multi-limbed people, these multi-limbed entities are really, they're putting the rest of us to shame. I think we should chop off some of these octopus arms, put them down to 2,
Do you think Kid Rock should run for president?
Why not? He's pretty woke.
I think he might be the sleeper nomination of 2024 that no one is thinking of.
Sleeper nomination is Kid Rock. I've heard people seriously suggesting Jon Stewart should run.
Yeah, no, that's why I think he's been doing that 9/11 stuff.
He's always on about 9/11, that guy. Give it a break, Jon Stewart.
Well, he cried on air when it happened, didn't he?
Yeah. His whole life has been about 9/11.
He's been retconning it since then to make it seem like it was, a big enough deal to warrant crying on air.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Tucker Carlson cried.
No, yeah.
I think that, bow tie at the time.
He was wearing a bow tie. That was Jon Stewart's biggest accomplishment, is getting Tucker Carlson to stop wearing a bow tie.
Yeah, he really helped out the whole news situation, didn't he?
He did. He helped it out,
Yeah.
For a couple of years, Tucker wasn't on the air. And boy, were those years peaceful. You got a good bunch of good 30 Rock in. You were still in Afghanistan and Iraq, but, well, nothing at war never changes, what we need to do is war more wokely, though.
Yeah, that's a common meme. That's a meme online.
We should do, but my suggestion for it is, we one of the biggest isms that we have to tackle, I've learned at this camp, is ageism. Something that one of our professors here at the camp, Noah Berlatsky, he's been talking to us a lot about, consent and ageism.
Oh, I see. He's an ageist in a different way than normally thought.
Well, yeah, he says that, what do we know about consent really? That's his thing all the time. What do we know about a child's ability to consent really?
Is Noah Berlatsky in the faculty, or is he a prisoner of the woke concentration camp?
He was a prisoner, but eventually he somehow got onto the faculty. Nobody knows how. Yeah.
He won them over.
He won them over by, with his sort of searing takes.
Wow. Yeah, they have an internal camp Twitter where they force us to tweet, and if we tweet badly, we have to go to a rubber room, like you were saying.
Yeah, and they beat us with copies of the U.S. Constitution. But they're woke. They're woke. They're like the ideal Constitution, right?
Yeah, ideal.
And they're made of lead, so they really hurt.
Wow. Why is the book made out the cover? You mean the cover?
No, the whole book. It's lead pages. It's like 12 lead plinths that make up with like text engraved on it.
A plinth?
A plinth, yeah. It's a lead plinth.
What's a plinth?
Sort of like a slab.
Is it like a vanth?
It's not. It's like Cobb vanth.
Like Cobb vanth.
Oh yeah, and that's the other thing we have in the library is we have like thousands of Chuck Wendig books for some reason.
Every single Mandalorian and Baby Yoda episode you want is in there.
Yeah.
Baby Yoda is very woke.
Baby Yoda is he is a baby. He's like talks about Professor Berlatsky's, talk about age of consent. Baby Yoda has psychic powers. He is an adult in terms of, Star Wars terms, right? So I think that's why we got to start thinking about incorporating children and Baby Yodas into war,
Listen, I know this may be a topic you don't want to talk about right now, but have you ever thought about tunneling out of here, escape?
I've thought about escape, but it's not so bad. I don't need to have a job while I'm in here. The beatings with the lead plinth Constitution that has been corrected, those are bad. Mm-hmm. But that's, only like every day. I can handle that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If it was every couple of hours, that would be a bit much. But I'm only getting like severely beaten, once every day.
Sorry. Yeah, I think we should try to escape at least from the bit.
At least from the bit? At least we're no longer in the woke... you don't want to be in the woke concentration camp any longer?
What if we escaped?
What if we escape from the bit?
Yeah.
What if we escape from the bit and go... That's what we're doing it now. We're bravely tunneling out. We've got, it's like the great escape in here. We've got everyone has their roles. There's the Cooler King, and there's the Tunnel Master, and there's the Scrounger, and, we're all getting our shit together. But, the point of the Great Escape is only like 3 people get away. And that's us, baby. We're the ones. We make it out. We have, the gender Hitlers have been thwarted, and we are no longer in this strange extended bit that we've been doing about a woke concentration camp. It's funny. It's kind of funny. Maybe you enjoyed it. But now we're here to talk about Dark House of Decline.
Welcome to the second half of the show, everyone.
We're in the second half of the show.
We're adding a little more structure to these shows now. We got a first half and a second half. The first half's where we do a hilarious, drawn-out, interminable bit.
Yeah, and we go in and out of it because we don't care about it.
And we don't care about your time either.
No, your time is worthless to us. You chose to listen to us, and frankly, that's a mistake. You deserve to suffer.
Yeah.
You deserve to suffer for your indolence. I have suffered for my indolence this week.
You suffered online, which...
I suffered online.
Frankly, is nobody's fault but your own.
That is... So... for people that weren't paying attention to the minute interactions that I have on the website of twitter.com, for some reason I decided to voice my... one day I just got up in a lather because I heard there was a suit against the Internet Archive that was going down. And
you were all soaped up. You were all soaped up, man.
I was hugely soaped up, lathered up, foaming at the mouth, one eye popping out like the Irish hero Cuchulainn. And, I was getting a bit bloodthirsty.
Yeah,
and
part of your asshole sleeve was poking out, too.
Yeah, my asshole sleeve was poking out. It was, like that. So this Internet Archive lawsuit, the Internet Archive is being sued by, like, 4 big publishing companies because it reproduced copyrighted material without asking. They did it without asking. And, of course, the Internet Archive is a great service. It has the home to tons of media that you wouldn't otherwise be able to access. So, and, the stuff that allegedly got pirated, it wasn't like, these aren't huge sellers, these aren't, breaking the bank. These don't make a lot of money for these publishing companies. So the lawsuit is, I don't know, I'm not putting my legal analysis for it, but it's generally seen as a bad move against people that want to protect freedom of information. Initially, this was kickstarted in 2020, not exclusively, but the author Chuck Wendig, who is known for sort of writing Joss Whedon-esque soy banter Star Wars books. He and other sort of young adult fiction where his main feature is soy banter, known on Twitter for annoying tweets like, when it's the middle of the week, you frazadoop and razabush when you... I want to get that tweet because I want to quote it.
Tweet? That's
the Chuck Wendig coffee tweet.
That's the producer job, or maybe our intern Shelly.
No, Shelly's been slacking off ever since she got off the pill, Her hormones have been crazy. Terrible shit.
You are going right back to the woke camp.
I'm going back right to the woke camp. Right to the... Here we go.
Imagine if you had to take a pill every single day of your life to be happy.
Yeah. That would never happen to me. That's absolutely unthinkable. So the famous Chuck Wendig tweet, which branded him as some sort of internet pariah amongst the cool folks like us, was Wednesday, the day you flumpty flew, and you think boop-de-bop and zippity-zoo, but the truth is razza-frazza-wuzza-wooza. What I'm trying to say is, maybe your brain isn't working either, but that's okay, because you're great. P.S. You need a firmware upgrade in the form of coffee. So, yeah, he's an annoying tweet. But, who cares? In 2020, he said that Internet Archive was piracy, but He had since recanted the position like a while ago too, and was like, donate to Internet Archive, I'm sorry. I didn't know this, so I got up in a lather about the Internet Archive lawsuit, and there had been a popular tweet recently which is like, this is Chuck Wendig's legacy. This is his legacy. And I was like, yeah, fuck Chuck Wendig. Fuck that guy. And I just did a string of tweets about how Chuck Wendig sucks. Yeah. And, one of them was, I will tie Chuck Wendig... no, one of them was tying Chuck Wendig to a chair and forcing him to eat a copy of Blood Meridian.
Yeah.
And that's the one I got in trouble for. That's the one that was reported because it was seen as a threat.
That's why we were sentenced to woke concentration camp.
That's why I became Dark House of Decline after I started thinking about the horrors of my speech being canned. But honestly, the other embarrassing thing is I apologize. Someone snitch tagged Chuck Wendig into my replies, and Chuck Wendig was like, "Which part of me do you object to?" And I was like, I had to go back on it and say, "Look, I'm sorry, Chuck Wendig. Sorry for bringing you into this. I don't care." Which would seen as an embarrassing tail between your legs move by some, but honestly, I just don't want to. I don't care enough about this issue to extend this into like finding receipts about Chuck Wendig and him being him. He might be doing this for blatant PR reasons. Who cares? I don't need to extend this. I don't need to crusade in order to take down an annoying guy. And that was ultimately the lesson I learned. If you're gonna come after somebody,
hire a media research team first.
Exactly. Or come out with somebody who's unambiguously terrible.
That's why we are announcing we're hiring at House of Decline Industries.
Absolutely.
We're hiring. We have a new position. It's called Media Research Team. You will be paid in cartoons.
You can sell those cartoons later because they come from a valuable pen.
You can make them. Go ahead and make them into an NFT. Sure, why don't you? It's open season. There are no rules on cartoons. And sign your name. Say you drew it.
Yeah, exactly. You can do that. That's something I would allow you to do.
Otherwise you'd have to go back on your position about the Internet Archive.
I
caught you.
You got me in a position. But here's the thing: is you're of two minds about this. In today's modern world, where you've been taught that the freedom of information, Aaron Schwartz died over freedom of information. Okay.
Yes, it's true.
Yeah. So to honor that guy's memory, that beautiful autistic Jewish boy, we love him, and he died. Because he just wanted to read some articles. He just wanted to put some articles out there. So we have to protect the Internet Archive, I guess. I don't know how that flows.
I mean, the Internet Archive is cool. As an internet kind of guy, I'm a kind of guy that...
You're an internet kind of guy.
I'm an internet kind of guy. I like it. I've liked it for a while, as many of our listeners probably have. I even got interested in trying to learn how to make websites and do JavaScript stuff, which is fun. And ultimately meaningless. So, do I like the Internet Archive? Yeah, I mean, it's pretty useful. I wish that the internet was set up so that links wouldn't break all the time. Like, this is a huge problem, right? You can give someone a link, but 10 years down the line, you have no way of guaranteeing that link's going to exist. And that sucks.
Yeah. I mean, that would be like the ultimate application of blockchain technology would be to ensuring that links don't break anymore.
Well, I mean, maybe. I don't think you need the blockchain specifically for that.
No.
You don't need, you need the concept of the decentralized storage. That's like, there's something called IPFS that's kind of working on this problem. They are sort of working in tandem or with the blockchain because it works really well with the blockchain, but you don't need to use a blockchain to have a decentralized way of trying to like permanently store content. We're really talking about archiving. Like, this is archiving.
That's the whole
problem.
plot of Silicon Valley, the HBO show, is they're trying to create a decentralized internet and store everything on everyone's devices all the time.
That's, and there's other things. There's like mesh networks to try to make a decentralized network. There's a lot of stuff going on. But something that's interesting is like that I saw regarding blockchain and all this, because blockchain's a buzzword now, and nobody who hates it and nobody who likes it really probably understands it that well, which is interesting and funny. But someone found that the Internet Archive, these guys are into crypto. And then now there's people on Twitter saying, wait a minute, who cares about Chuck Wendig? But we're not going to say anything nice about the Internet Archive because they're into crypto.
Well, yeah. That it's interesting to me that, I'm sure they are a bunch of weird techno-libertarians running the Internet Archive.
Yes.
That's who does that. I mean, look at Wikipedia. Yeah. Wikipedia. Have you heard what Jimmy Wales thinks? I'm sure he donates a lot of his money to suspects, to some pretty sus stuff. But, I mean, that's what's interesting about internet libertarians, how, the things that they create are somehow so against, a huge part of their ethos in a lot of ways. Jimmy Wales is a Randian, right? He's a huge Ayn Rand fan. But Wikipedia, to me, seems like the antithetical to the idea of objectivism or objectivist philosophy.
I don't know. I literally could never finish the Wikipedia entries on objectivism, so I don't know what it means because it's too boring.
Yeah,
it's something like there are objects.
Yeah, there are
as far
objects,
as I got.
Yeah. There's a bunch of objects. That's all you need. No, but it's all about, it's all about individual responsibility, sort of that, the axiomatic idea that animates us is that we are born into this world alone and we die alone, and so every man must make his own peace for himself, and that great men are often suppressed by mediocre men. Because
I don't know. When these people start complaining, I'm like, why don't we go find famous and beloved Japanese animation director Miyazaki and ask him about politics for a while.
Yeah.
And see how that shakes out.
I'm sure he has I wonder if he has very retrograde conservative views or if he is a secret commie or something like that.
I just want to see how it shakes out, and then we can revisit the Internet Archive's crypto link. Because, no shit, the Internet Archive people will be into crypto.
Yeah.
It's very common.
Oh, the guys that are all about the guys are all about anti-government regulation are into crypto. Ooh, who would have thought? Mm-hmm. Who would have thought that these guys also have dovetailed with some problematic views?
Well, now you can be canceled for being crypto adjacent. So that's interesting.
Can you be canceled for being crypto? Has someone been successfully canceled for being crypto adjacent?
I'm seeing attempts. On the Internet Archive.
On the internet.
Very, very live. Soon the entire Internet Archive will be in the woke concentration camp.
There you go. They're putting IA and they're re-educated. The only thing you'll be able to access on Internet Archive is Steven Universe and She-Ra.
I could see copyright being picked up by the PMC libs as a valuable.
No, it becomes a thing because artists deserve to get paid.
Yeah, because the artists are all definitely in some kind of protected class, right?
Yeah.
That's the protected class of trust fund babies.
Yeah, that is my position as a trust fund baby, as somebody that has been able to do art because of familial wealth, and I've been, incredibly lucky.
And the strange generosity of the Canadian government.
And the strange generosity of the Canadian government and my previous job. I had it's not all on familial wealth, but I had a decent amount of privilege, and that has been able to give me an opportunity to do artwork, a lot more artwork when I couldn't have had.
Yeah, the government gives you all the maple syrup you need.
The thing as an artist that you're always thinking is that there is nothing inherently valuable about what you do. Not in a way that, tilling the field or, mining or manufacturing or, actually building something that has a use. Art is good. We need art.
I think you can quantify it.
To me, it's very mercurial. I mean, it's the same with academics. It's this, and even if it's not true, it's this sneaking suspicion that I think artists and academics and people in sort of these more intangibly valuable disciplines, they sort of have this idea about themselves that I need to justify myself constantly, or I need to sort of aggrandize the importance of what I'm doing in order to compensate for this feeling that, maybe what I'm doing is pointless.
Have you played any Civilization 6 or 5?
Civ 6 or 5? No.
There's different victory types in Civilization. You can have a science victory or a culture victory. And the art and the academic types are advocating that we go for a science victory or a culture victory, even though we may not be that type of civilization. We're more oriented towards a military victory.
Unfortunately.
But you can quantify your, artistic output in terms of our country's quest for a culture victory, as it were. We're trying to win the game of civilization IRL. So everything you put out, it helps Canada potentially win.
I mean, I think America has had, if you talk about culture victory, that maybe is America has had nothing but military losses, but it's had tons of there's KFC everywhere. There's KFCs and I think that's where America has been most successful. Like South Korea and Japan, their cultures are indelibly changed and influenced by America in the latter half of the 20th century.
We are spreading a wave of obesity across the world.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, it's true. That's absolutely true. The whole it's that stupid thing, like in Parks and Recreation. Mediocre show, whatever, but it's instructive in some aspects. There's a Ron Swanson quote. He's the good libertarian in the show, and he says, if a guy wants to eat a bunch of hamburgers and balloon up to 500 pounds, that's freedom to me. I'm paraphrasing. But I think that is instructive. I think that is actually sort of a good summation of the idea of American freedom, which is to be as physically irresponsible with your own body as you want.
There's the difference between freedom and license, and the concept is that freedom is the ability to make a choice that is good and upright, whereas you have the license to do things like eat 1,000 hamburgers, but that is not good. Yeah. So it's not a freedom.
Yeah. It's also, it's not a freedom because you're bound to the addiction of hamburgers. You can't be free when you're addicted to something. You can't be free when you're dependent on something.
Like ice cream, and it is National Ice Cream Day. But if you are like me and you have an addiction to ice cream, don't be afraid to reach out to a friend. Tell them about your struggle. It's very hard for me to not eat all the ice cream.
You have a whole pint, you eat the whole pint,
You know what's annoying? Haagen-Dazs, my preferred ice cream brand, made their pint smaller.
But it's supposed to be a pint. That's a measurable thing.
It's less than it's less. They made it smaller.
Are they still billing it as one pint?
Oh yeah, it's very expensive.
You should sue them.
You're
losing bucks.
They're not saying it's not false advertising, but the price stayed the same.
I see.
It sucks. This inflation stuff is annoying.
Yeah, it's getting real bad. Food's getting real expensive. That's how you know shit's about to get really bad. When people can't get the bread and milk anymore, that's no good. That's no good. Rising food prices are always indicators of longer periods of unrest.
And, like the 80s, I guess.
Yeah, no one was having fun in the 80s.
I think there were some people, like the goth people were, even though they swore to God they were not having fun, they were having fun in the 80s.
They were having, I mean, come on. A lot of jovial goths.
Listen, I know the goth thing is to be sad and depressed, but the 80s were the best time. So you kind of, if you're a goth in the 80s, you should be happy,
Oh, yeah. Well, the thing is, I think that's also, you're at the best time to be a goth. Because, when everybody's depressed like they are nowadays, being a goth is, you're just like everybody else. But back in the 80s...
That's kind of the point of Bret Easton Ellis books. I think that was the point he was making.
Everyone becoming a goth is bad for society?
Well, just the goth movement doesn't matter because everyone's depressed and trying to do as many drugs as possible.
There you go.
And that's college. Mm-hmm. Anyway, back to ice cream. Ben and Jerry's, they still have the properly sized pints. What I wish...
There should be a Bret Easton Ellis book where everyone's in their 30s and they're just eating ice creams constantly. They've moved on to drugs and they're in their 30s now, so it's just various ice creams.
Yeah. It's just as bad for you as drugs.
Yeah, yeah. But you don't have any sort of heightened psychedelic state. Well, actually, that's not true. I've had many heightened psychedelic states because of ice cream.
Yeah, you eat enough ice cream and you can trip out.
Yeah, absolutely. Sort of feel like a big glob of mucus,
I just wish Ben and Jerry's had a couple plain flavors.
Plain flavors?
Just give me a chocolate. Give me a vanilla.
You don't like mouthfeel? You don't want any crunches in there in order to break up the ice cream experience?
No simple Ben and Jerry's. They're chock full of things. It's like you get a Ben and Jerry's and it's got 17 different things in it. It's like caramel, cookie, brownie, cherry, waffle cone, butterscotch, fudge, marshmallow, peanuts, sea salt.
Mm-hmm. Did you read the back of a Ben and Jerry's?
Just now?
You read the back of a Ben and Jerry's thing right now? Do you have it on?
I just thought of toppings.
Just thought of toppings.
Yeah.
I see. You're good at thinking of toppings. List some more toppings.
Okay. Kimchi. Dried shrimp.
I'm great on ice cream. I'm sure there's kimchi ice cream.
Oh, yeah. So, did we talk about Iron Chef yet? We have 3 more minutes.
Iron Chef. Let's round it off. Let's talk about Iron Chef.
Quickly. New Iron Chef. Alton Brown. Have you watched it?
No, I have not watched the new Iron Chef. Alton Brown's a creep, though. He's like a weird, conservative, creepy guy.
Yeah, he was doing it from the woke concentration camp. He
was doing it. Well, he is like, I don't know. Obviously, he seems to me like a closet case, but that's just my 2 cents on that.
Well, that's cool. We like that.
Yeah. We like accusing people of being closeted. That's a very woke thing to do. In fact, you should do that.
Is it?
No, you shouldn't. I think the official line on that is you shouldn't antagonize people like that. You should let them come out in their time.
That's good. You're kind of like the moral voice of the podcast.
Definitely the moral voice of the podcast.
Yeah. Anyway,
absolutely.
Alton Brown, the new Iron Chef. I watched an old Iron Chef to compare.
Yeah.
Honestly, like my initial reaction was not as good as the old Iron Chef, but
yeah,
it's the same.
Well,
if I'm going to be 100% honest, it's not dubbed in Japanese, so it loses that cool factor. Because there's a big cool factor to a show in Japanese, I find. I love hearing the Japanese language. It's one of the most beautiful sounding languages to me. I love it. And having the dub is so funny as well. And the women who
they laugh. They laugh charmingly.
It's an entire different culture.
Yeah, and there's always like a lady, and she's a fortune teller, and she's saying "too salty" all the time. They're ruder. They're meaner too. They're more blunt.
No. That's not true.
That's true.
The new American Iron Chef. They have some pretty.
There's some really mean guys.
Mean judges.
That's pretty good.
just great.
Here's what I think about the old Iron Chef is that specifically the set compared to the new one, where like the old Iron Chef, what was very important, it was that it was a black backdrop. So it had that sort of void feel. It feels like Kitchen Stadium is in this weird void where you've traveled to this interdimensional kitchen. Where that takes place, that's at the nexus of time and space. There's a sort of surreal quality to it, and also like the pageantry of like the intro where it's like you're panning across the thousands of chefs and Chairman Kaga, and he's like taking a bite out of the pepper. There's no sense of that pageantry in the Iron Chef America.
They try. I mean, the new chairman.
Yeah.
I guess I think in the lore of the show, it's the nephew of the old chairman.
Yeah, he's the nephew. He
refers to his uncle a lot. He says in the word. He's always saying like in the words of my uncle.
Yeah.
But it's a little bit more.
I would describe it as crasser. It's more crass.
It's hard for me to, I want to say minstrel show, but I don't know if it is or not. Because
I don't know.
It does kind of seem a little bit like that with this poor guy who's the chairman.
You think he's forced to do Japan face for white people?
I don't know what he's doing, honestly. It's a culture I don't recognize that if he's trying to emulate. He's doing all kinds of weird, showy gestures. You kind of have to see it to understand what I'm talking about. It's bizarre.
I know, because he's trying to emulate the pageantry of the Japanese Iron Chef show, but because of like the production is off, because like the camera angles are wrong, because the color grading is off, because it doesn't have that same, because it's not shot on like 90s video, it doesn't have that same
like intricate bows and movements, like where he waves his arms all around and does an intricate bow and like points while the ingredient is being revealed.
Yeah.
And the original chairman didn't do that. The original chairman was like magisterial and kingly, and he sort of like did a hand gesture and the ingredient was revealed. Now the new chairman is like doing a kung fu move,
doing an
almost.
Interpretive dance.
It's something weird, and his accent is very strange.
He tries to play. He has like a very strong, heavy American accent, but he tries to like do a Japanese accent.
I do not want to be sentenced back to the woke concentration
We're going to go
camp.
back to the woke concentration. I don't think we can accuse him of doing this. I don't think white guys can accuse him of doing Japan face.
This is what I'm afraid of.
What?
Okay? I'm afraid that something this terrible could have happened to a man or anyone. I think the producers of the show were like, "Can you Japan it up a little bit?"
Yeah, I think that's true. I think that's absolutely true, and I think he agreed to that. I don't think we can say it's bad. I think Japanese people could say it's bad.
Well,
I don't know if we're in the position to judge it.
Because in the context of the new show, where it's like taking place inside of a NFL touchdown Sports Center stage,
Yeah. But it's not even a racist because it's like a national, because he's trying to emulate like a national tenor of something like that as a very specific type of Asian culture.
The original Iron Chef was about it being in Japan.
Yeah.
Like that was the focus. So not the focus, it was a focus. I mean, the narrator says, that's the 3 best chefs in Japan.
Yeah.
And all the Iron Chefs are Japanese. The Iron Chefs are not Japanese anymore, my friend.
I see.
They are a very beautifully mixed and diverse crew.
There you go. That's America, man.
And that's America for you. Yep.
But I think, like you said, magisterial is the key. We need an actual American king of food, and one who is truly representative of American food. And, of course, that has to be Guy Fieri, right?
Yeah, I guess what should happen is we have to replace the chairman.
Yeah, because it's Iron Chef America. We should stop hearkening back to this Japan stuff because it's limiting it. We should embrace the Americanism.
Here's how you fix Iron Chef America. Our last word of the day is replace the chairman with Guy Fieri and bully Alton Brown until he comes out of the closet. Would you agree?
I 100% agree. Absolutely agree. Send Alton. What you should do is in chalk. On his driveway, on Alton Brown's driveway, you should write, "I know what you do, gay boy." You should write that.
You should tweet that. You should tweet that at him.
I absolutely tweet that at him. It won't. I will get even darker House of Decline after that, after they ban the account for being shitty.